Yo, Twitch, editing guy that hates Tuesdays here. Brief note, I've noticed the audio, at least in the beginning of the this episode, is especially fucked. I'm kind of looking it over, and it gets a little better, but it's a little fucked. So, fair warning, this episode is really messy. Enjoy though, if you can. Yo, Twitch. Once again, it's me, the guy who hates Tuesdays. You know me. Yeah, yeah. Today I'm joined by my good friend and co-host.
B.
Yeah,
Hello.
there she is. That's B.
Awkward.
Y'all met B last time. You
Yeah,
probably
like
they probably thought you weren't gonna be sticking around, but yeah, no, I can't get rid of her. She got between the
yeah,
floorboards
no,
last time.
I'm here to stay, dude. I live under his floorboards.
Yeah, I
He
can't
just doesn't know that.
I keep trying to get between there. She doesn't know that I know, but I keep trying to get like a fucking. I keep trying to call a guy to come over and look at it, but he always gives me excuses. I can't get rid of her.
I mean, that's because I'm never there when you get the guy over. Like,
Man, I
I
knew.
always move to someplace new.
Oh man, you probably got behind the couch too,
Yeah,
and
I
under
got
the
everywhere.
pillow.
Dude, I've been everywhere.
Oh, man, up on the board games.
Yes, on the board games.
Fuck, behind my vinyl pops.
Probably yes.
Shit,
And in
man.
between.
Between the manga. I don't have that much
Yes.
manga. I've only got the old Dragon Ball books.
Still sounds like a lot though.
Yeah, there's like 42 of the original Dragon Ball manga.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and I like got into them when I was like 12 or something, and I had like two or three, and I got them from the library, and then when it was my birthday, my granddad and grandma and aunt they all went, so we went on Yellow Pages, and then they dumped 40 manga books in a big brown paper bag right in front of me. Happy birthday! And I went, I have never read this much before, but I shall do it. Except I was like 12, so it didn't sound like that.
Oh my god. I would I would love to see little 12-year-old you sound like a fucking demon.
He tried. He tried. He couldn't.
Oh my god. You
Yeah.
really were a bachelor back then, weren't you?
Anyway, I got completely derailed off my preamble. That's cool though. I'm glad we can have a joint preamble instead of me just reading what feels like a script because I don't we don't have scripts, but I do have notes for some things and like I'm not a professional streamer by any means, so I'm not quite used to the whole it feels like shrilling even when you're not shrilling, but you guys get what I mean probably. The high energy. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to. Yeah, I'm not too good at that all the time, so bear with me here.
It's fine. I'm the one going in completely blind. I got no notes on anything that we ever talk about.
Yeah,
So,
the only reason why I'm making any notes at all is because I'm like, well, shit, I am streaming this, so I gotta at least put some effort into it, I guess. Fuck.
yeah.
Oh, anyway, today we got ourselves another episode of Type It Out. Yes, second one to be exact. Today we're going to be talking about horror. Bad
Yes.
horror. Well,
By the way, my guy. Real quick, like derailing. Did you change the thing from the Twitch thing to the background you made yet?
listen, the old background.
There you go.
So listen, the old. Well, I changed right when I said it. The stream
Yeah,
is
cool.
delayed on
No,
the fucking.
I know.
You
I know.
getting
I
on
just
my
have to
ass
make
for shit
sure.
I'm doing now because it's not being shown on the screen when I do it,
Yeah, I'm
bruh.
sorry. Anyway, you were saying?
Dude, this is hilarious.
This is great. It's going well. It's going
Okay,
amazing.
okay. So I feel like I wrote down something funny. That's the only reason why I'm looking at it, because if I remembered, I only wrote down something to remember it, but I do remember what it is. I'm not gonna look at it, but if I'm like, I remember there's something funny in there. What was the funny thing? I gotta look for it, you know?
Hell yeah.
Oh no no. Yeah, so we were going to be talking about horror and how bad it's been in recent history. So we watched Unfriended as an example, but then we also just wound up watching Scary Movie,
Yeah.
which
And
it's a bad
mm,
horror movie, but that's the point of that movie.
like Scary Movie is an entire piss take on not just the horror genre in total, but like a lot of different other movies. Like I saw Matrix in there
It's a pretty good satire film.
toward the end, and I was just like, oh, well that's the Matrix.
If you haven't seen Scary Movie, that's the Genius box right next to the words "Type it out," where they're going "What's that?"
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It can be recommended.
Yeah. Also, next to that, you can't talk about bad horror movies without referencing Troll 2, um, which really should be called just goblins, because there are no trolls in the movie. They call them goblins in the movie, which is just an example of how bad that movie is.
So
Um,
what's the point of calling a movie Trolls?
so you see the guy who's just screaming under the child? He's going,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" And that's his best acting, and that's why that movie is memorized in history as a good time, but no, not for any of the reasons it should be.
He looks so unaffected by whatever he's shocked by.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a little bit of he like to the end, you can tell he remembers. Oh right, I have to like squint my face a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh no, I have to be like shocked or scared or whatever," and he squints his eyes. But that it's just
I don't know what that snowman is underneath that. I think I remember very vaguely something relating to a snowman looking like that.
wasn't
Uh,
there like a Christmas horror at some point?
yeah, that's what
Like,
I'm thinking. I don't remember.
yeah, I never. Oh, I'm
The
so
the image
I
was
like horrors, right? But I have such a high standard for them.
dude, the image was called something related to vampires, and I don't think that's related to vampires because he's saying
Um,
don't eat yellow snow. How's that related to vampires? We just got derailed talking about the background.
yeah.
That's perfect.
I know it actually is though, because
Um,
we're still talking horror stuff.
well, to kick us off, I've jotted down like a brief summary of Unfriended. Back when this was still
Yes.
supposed to be, but when I went into these notes, I had the intention of having good stuff, bad stuff, and then the summary, and then we watched Scary Movie, and I went, I'm not gonna write notes for Scary Movie, and then I wrote a
No
few
one needs to
notes.
for Scary Movie.
I wrote a few notes for Scary Movie. Anyway, so, Unfriended follows a group of friends during an online Skype call the year after a girl in their school committed suicide. As the movie progresses and the haunting become oh wait, I forgot to mention the Skype call's being haunted by the ghost of this girl who committed suicide. Why
Yeah.
did I forget to write that down, man? As the movie progresses and the haunting becomes more and more apparent, the truth that each of them had taken part in bullying her slowly comes out as they each are killed off and learn more disturbing secrets about each other. This sounds cool, man. Why is this movie not
Concept.
cool?
Look. The concept of Unfriended is like one of the coolest concepts I have ever seen in
Like
my life.
this
Ever.
this movie had such a good concept going for it, and the actors weren't bad actors for the most part.
There were some really weird parts in the movie where you just sit there like, yeah, maybe they should have done something different with the actors here. Um, Not to mention that right in the beginning, as they're trying to like get rid of this mystery figure who they don't know who is yet, they all they're all like, "Oh yeah, no, talk to you later," and then they all go bye as if they're just gonna hang up for the night
Yeah.
instead of just being like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be like talking to you in a second." You know what I mean?
Let me give you guys just an example of the quality of this movie. When I went into this, the first thing I typed down was good stuff, and then bad stuff. And the first thing I got in here was a good thing. surprisingly, they made the Universal logo intro thingy glitchy. And I like that. And then immediately after that, the first bad thing, and they overdid the glitchy intro, and it just became tacky and a little bit overdone. And wow, okay, yeah, we get it.
I freaked out a little bit when the glitchy thing happened because I was like, oh no, did my PlayStation stop? Did my headset stop working? Like,
Yeah,
did
that
my
was
shit stop working? I
it
was
was
like, oh
cool.
no.
It was cool.
It
It
was
made me
really
go
cool.
because it was so subtle, and it just kind of like happened the first time, and then the second time I
Yeah.
realized, and then the third time I went okay, and then they made the whole screen glitch out too, and I went okay, yeah.
Yeah. But no, like my personal opinion, because I have seen Unfriended before. This was literally just like a rewatch, so that I was refreshed for this. When it came to it, my first impression of Unfriended was like, this is a really, really cool concept with some decent characters, but it was just executed really badly.
Yeah, Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, it could have been done so much better.
Oh, dude,
Uh,
fuck, I think I've cranked the audio up a little too much, maybe. Oh no, oh
oh,
no,
oh God.
noises. Ah, are we
Is
good?
stuff not working the way you need it to work?
Maybe we're safe? Are we safe? I think we're safe.
I don't know. I don't have sound on my end. I
Yeah,
only have sound through
I,
my
yeah,
headset.
I don't know. I think we're good. I think we're good. Oh,
One could hope.
maybe. Uh,
Hope.
So during my note taking of Unfriended, I jotted down, I'm bored. Now they're just yelling. I want to go home. I also have cool uncle rape. Nice. As
Oh
in,
yeah, because Laura's fucking
yeah, they
uncle
like
probably like
so they
raped
don't
her.
even dare fully hint at it, and I'm like, if you're gonna be a horror movie and include an element, include the element. But I get
I
like
mean,
why she was struggling to say it, but still,
yeah, I mean, especially because they were supposedly like really good friends, and she was the only one who knew about this. Like, not even the rest of the group knew about it.
yeah, yeah, but
Blair,
like
who's the
you'd
main
think
character,
you'd think this
like,
thing that supposedly should redeem this person in the eyes of everyone would be a bigger element than
oh
mentioned
hell yeah.
once.
Oh hell yeah. Something that I actually really love about the movie is, as I said before, I think it was the dynamic between all the actors, especially when they're playing Never Have I Ever. Because it becomes such a like backstabbing like party or whatever where people just start accusing each other of all the shit that they've done and now they have to fess up to it. I actually really like that.
Yeah,
Because she said they're like, oh, get the tea.
yeah, I thought that was a pretty I thought that was a pretty good way to get the tension up. Uh,
Yeah.
they carried it for a decent bit too, but I feel like that's where the acting kind of fell through a little bit, if you get me. But I don't feel like that's on the actor's part. I think that's more on the end of the direction they were given
Oh yeah. I
because
mean, I mean, look,
they seemed a little uncertain.
I mean, I think it's the like first movie of its kind. You know what I mean? Where it only um is on a computer screen, where it's
Yeah,
only the computer screen that's been like recorded. I
yeah,
haven't seen a
yeah.
movie
They
like that
like
before.
boasted about it in the marketing.
Yeah, so it makes sense that it's gonna be a little bit shaky. It's gonna be a little bit uncertain, and the actors are gonna be a little bit like, what is going on? Because they haven't been acting this way before, where they have to sit in like separate rooms and shit.
Yeah.
Or like on separate sets in different places and stuff so that um
I feel
it
like
looks like
they
they're
a part of what
far
did
apart, you know what I mean?
a part of what did a little bit for me was they went a little way too overboard with the glitch effects.
Yeah,
Be-
they could have done a little less of that.
yeah, because
I like the idea of Laura like controlling the computer and all that,
well, at the
but
same time, it's also kind of realistic that it's realistic that Skype had. I remember being on video calls on Skype, and yes, it did shit like that all the time, but
oh hell yeah.
it didn't look like that often. And
I mean, I don't know how good your Skype was, but mine fucking always froze,
Yep,
dude.
mine did too, and did that breakup thing. But and I get that they changed. I feel like they've made the. I feel like what I have an issue with is that they took that breakup thing and then they made it look a little more alien because of the ghost affecting it, and that just
Yeah.
looked bad to my eyes.
Something
It didn't look right.
something that's always confused me, right? So you remember how Val was the first person to die, right?
Yeah, and she just like sat
Um,
there.
yeah, I was just like, I never caught, like when I watched it the very first time, I didn't catch the phone was like moving on the table. Um, and I caught it this time and I was like, huh. But she's like not breathing or anything, so obviously the picture's not frozen. Like it's not supposed to look frozen. Um, but the phone is moving and I focused so much on that phone. I was like, that is really, really bad editing effect because it looked like it was so badly photoshopped into the picture. I don't know if you saw that, but I was like, that could
Dude,
have been better.
I remember when I saw that jump scare, where the phone fell over, where it's
Yeah.
supposed to scare you. I thought, wow, you guys can't even do a basic jump scare right. This is gonna be a long movie, isn't it? It was.
It's not actually that long because it is only 1 hour
No, it's a little
compared
over an hour.
to other like really bad horror movies. That's like an hour and a half to two. Oh, excuse me, an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Dude, when I came out of that movie, I went on my Discord server and I had to hit up the fucking local shit poster. I had to hit him up for 20 cc's of shit post stat because I was dying. I needed I needed to feel alive, you know?
Is it? Am I a bad person if I laughed at some of the deaths because they just looked
Yeah,
so goofy?
yeah,
Like,
that's the way they shot
like,
them and the glitches.
like, like the way that in the beginning of the movie you see the ghost like killing herself, right? There's like a video of it
Oh
on
yeah,
the
she
internet
shoots herself
in
with
the
the gun,
movie, and she's like shooting herself with a gun, and
arms
instead of putting
stretched
it
out
up to her
fully.
head or something, the gun is at like arm's length pointed towards her, and I'm just like, girl,
How are you even pulling
I'm
the
gonna kill
trigger?
you.
Are you pulling the trigger with both your thumbs or one of them? How are you even
Like, how are you
Are your
doing this?
hands
Like,
turned
no.
inward? Is your hand with the gun turned inward at a really
So I
weird
think
angle? What?
so. I think it's one of those where obviously I can't show you, but you know how you can bend your wrist like almost like a full
Yeah, I
I
just
think
did
90
it,
degree angle,
but if
right?
you want to point that
Yeah,
at your head, you have to turn your arm at a weirder. You can't like have your arm stretched out fully while you're doing that and pointing it at your head. You can't.
I know it's really really fucking weird, and I just sat there like, that
She
is a weird death, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of a laugh when I saw that because
Yeah, she
I
was
was just
handing
like,
it backwards.
she was,
Fuck, man. Like in my
and then
notes, I seriously have why do I find the suicide funny?
literally I was just like, wait, that is such a bad way to hold the gun. Um, but there was another one. It was I think when what was his name? Mick or Mickey or whatever.
Uh
Blair's boyfriend.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when he died,
Yeah, the
apparently,
knife.
yeah, he just like slams his head into the knife and you're just like, "Oh, well that was quick, I guess."
Yeah, he like stares at the screen and then he falls backwards over. It was
No,
nearly
he
not
falls.
quick enough.
Yeah, no, like fucking his head gets slammed into the point of the knife, which somehow got like turned upwards. I don't know if it was because the ghost was possessing him or whatever,
No, no, you could
but his head,
you could like barely tell like he was holding it upright with his other hand while he slammed his head into it.
yeah. And
So
then he sits back up and he fucking stares at the screen for a hot sec, and then he just like, oh,
falls over, he's dead.
and falls over.
Yeah.
And you just sit there like, okay. And then obviously Blair being our main character
Yeah, that
is the last one left.
her reactions to that is actually the thing right next to the word unfriend right here. I just thought it was really funny when I searched for unfriended. The first thing that came up was the gif of unfriend and crying her, and I just went,
It makes too much sense.
right?
Like
Look,
dude,
look at her.
it makes too much sense. She's like screaming at being at the thought of being unfriended.
Yes. Yeah, it's the title of the movie. That's another one of my notes, by the way. Uh, oh my god, title is in movie. Just unfriend her.
You know, something I actually thought was really well done, right?
Hmm?
Was the casting of Val. Like she wasn't in the movie for more than I think 20 minutes.
Yeah, she did the bitch right.
She really fucking did. I loved the character of Val.
I feel
And
like
it's a
she
bit of a
backed down
shame
a little
that
too early.
I feel it's a little sad that she was like killed off so early. I would have actually loved to see her play the Never Have I Ever game because she is the bitch that would just like
Yeah,
backstab
yeah.
everyone.
What did she do? What did she do to her? What?
I think I
And hey,
think
Fat Guy is the
that
guy who knows how to find people's IP and shit, knows about hack stuff. He might have fucking hacked into his shit and stolen photos.
yeah,
So how come they got the easy hook and got to die before their secrets were revealed?
let's be honest though, Ken, the fat guy,
He was my
his
favorite
death,
character.
his oh yeah, hell yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, the
But his
actor was
death
just
was
chilling.
brutal as fuck.
His actor was literally his direction, his stage direction was probably just chill, man. There's literally a point where Val is acting like a bitch, and he just hangs up with on her and says, "Yep, bye, Val." And then the first thing he does
Yeah,
when he looks back up is he fires a fucking hit on his pipe, and then he just keeps talking
it's
like
fucking great.
I was just like, "Damn!" And that's my only other second good note. Damn, Fat Guy straight up took a hit after hanging up on Val. That's all I got,
Yeah,
man.
not just that, but he is not afraid to show Val that I dislike this bitch.
That was cool, man.
Like I like a person who can show like the person they dislike that they dislike them.
So
You know what I mean?
they clearly do know how to write a character and character interaction decently well, but then they also get an idea like, hey, we want someone to die by having their hand and face and throat destroyed by a blender. Who can we give a blender to? Wait, the fat guy, because
Because it makes sense, I guess. I don't
no,
fuck.
he's like the tech savvy guy. I won't let this up. I'm not. He's like the guy who gets them the program to try and get rid of the what they at the time thought was a hacker with a Trojan or something, and he
Yeah,
called it a troll, and he never thought it was a ghost till it was like Val died,
too
you know?
late. Yeah.
He was like the most tech dude, and the others came to him and asked questions, and he was like the calm one trying to lead the shit and whatever. I don't know anybody with any kind of interest in electronics, computers, or any kind of knowledge like that who would keep a blender in the same universe as their dear beloved setup.
Oh hell no.
They only included it because they wanted someone to die with a blender, and the other characters it made more it only really made sense for us to make half the fat guy half the blender. He literally so the camera's glitching out, and he's literally and then it gets then it catches up, and it's literally him shoving his hand straight into the blender while screaming, and then it fucking cuts out again, and the blender and he smashes the blender, and then it cuts out again, and you can barely see he's getting his throat slit by it, and then he screams, and then it's over.
Yeah.
And
And
this
then he gets logged out by the ghost.
Yeah. And this is like in the span of less than 5 seconds. That's the issue here. It's
Like
way
that's
too
a that's
quick.
a whole that's a whole lot of information in like no fucking time.
Yeah, and the buildup was like terrible.
It kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, it does every time. They don't have appropriate buildup, and then it hits way too fast, so you don't get to take it in, and then they just keep going, expecting you to be scared now.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of horror movies nowadays feel, man.
A lot of horror movies. I have seen this described somewhere on the internet. I don't remember where it was. But horror movies nowadays is like if a comedian tickled you to make you laugh.
They follow a formula, a lot of them.
Yeah, like horror movies nowadays are shitty.
Yeah,
And I say that, and I feel like I can be allowed to say that because my first horror movie I ever watched was The Grudge. Um, so my standard for horror is so fucking high,
I've actually heard The
and
Grudge being
none.
called trash.
What? No,
Yeah, I hear like okay, so
it's
like the thing about
awesome.
I think the argument is that The Grudge is like a very certain kind of scary that if
Yeah.
you are like into the horror genre because of the very specific way that a lot like a lot of older horror movies especially they went extremely into how you made the movie
Oh yeah.
that
But
they feel like it focuses only on that one kind of spooky in that uncomfortable way. But then
yeah,
again, the
but
movie does what it's trying to do, so I feel like it's a good example of a decent horror movie.
yeah, I mean the thing to remember about The Grudge is that it
It's
is
scary.
originally a Japanese movie
Oh yes, that too.
that was then Americanized. The only thing about The Grudge, because I've only seen the Americanized version with Sarah Michelle Gellar or Gellar, whatever. Um, the only thing about that I actually appreciate is they kept it in Japan. So while it's an Americanized movie, it's still set in Japan because it's originally a Japanese movie.
Yeah, I think I heard that before.
And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that a lot.
So, should we just fucking keep going on Unfriended? Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
let's keep bashing on Friended.
Let me look at my notes. Let me look at my notes. I don't like being put through Skype sex. No.
Yes. It was shitty and uncomfortable and really, really awkward, and I didn't like it.
Uh,
And it's like the first thing that you see.
Blair is such a bitch. Like, I have a note because so okay, so they're like panicked and she's trying to figure out what to do and she's asking texting her boyfriend, "Help me what to do," and he doesn't know what to do and then she's like, "You don't know what to do." Ugh, no, no, no. He tries to tell her something to do, and she goes, "Ah, no work. It doesn't work. You need to be more helpful." And I'm just like, "What the fuck, bitch?"
Yeah. No, something about the first few scenes, right? I
Yeah.
actually sat there and I was like, I can relate to this for the only reason that Blair seemed unwilling to have like Skype sex. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that.
I was I was like, well, she doesn't want to. Don't pressure her, dude. Like, stop it.
It's kind of funny that that's an element that's returned in Scary Movie that they make fun of. They make fun of men in horror movies. That's why he's so I'm getting ahead of myself here, but you know, it's
Fine, it's fine.
it's funny that
Talk
that
about
element is in this movie 14 years after a movie made fun of that exact element being overdone in horror movies. Isn't that kind of extremely hilarious?
it's great, honestly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It
Also,
really is.
remember when Val went, "Fuck it, I'm calling the cops."
Mm-hmm.
I jotted that down as, haha, white woman went, "I am called police."
I am called police.
Oh, when she
Honestly,
died, I was like, was the camera falling over supposed to be scary? Can you not even do it jump scares? And no, they couldn't.
I love how Val called the police, right?
Yeah.
And they show up like 10 minutes later and they're like, "Oh, it was a suicide," when clearly she was calling about an intruder in her house.
Yeah, and also they acknowledged there was an active Skype call on the computer, and then they didn't interact with the computer at all. They didn't put anyone.
They just like cut it off and
No, no,
left
they
it.
didn't cut it off. They left it, and then it cut off. It was cut off by the ghost, I think.
Yeah, because now Val was like gone
Yeah,
or whatever.
there may be an entire computer screen full of 5, 6 witnesses right here, and we're just not gonna acknowledge that and keep looking at her suicide corpse.
Which wasn't technically even a suicide. technically.
Yeah, like she called in and said there was an intruder, so why would they go suicide when they find her dead body?
Yeah, something I do like though is that when that happened, Blair started looking up police codes to kind of like try and
Wait, no,
update
no,
her
no,
friends
it
on like
was a
what they were
mistake.
saying.
The first code they said, I think it was the ghost messing with it to say suicide because it wasn't. They didn't say didn't conclude suicide. They concluded it
Oh,
as a psychosis thingy.
yeah.
She died because of a seizure. And then they remembered she had told them she had seizures when she was younger. They were still trying to justify it, but no, she got ghosted. Sadly.
Literally.
You've been ghosted by the ghost gang.
Some some ghost just went and did a fucking ancient one like ancient one did on Doctor Strange, just pushed her soul out of her body.
There's a fucking hold on. There's a fucking watermark in the corners that you've been spooked by ghost gang.
Oh my god. What?
Like no. There's not actually that on stream, but what if that just popped up in the corner after
Oh
she
yeah.
died? You've been spooked by ghost gang.
I would love that. That would have been funny.
Yeah, they didn't do that though. They weren't funny people.
Yeah, no. No, there was also what was her name? Was it Becky or something? The blonde girl? Her death was just weird, I think.
Yeah.
I remember her name starting with a B, and she died with the fucking hair straightener down her throat being burned.
Was that the hair straightener? I was like, what?
That was
I thought it
like
was
like
the
like like
shower
like
drain, but the hair straightener makes
no,
more sense to her character, yeah.
that was either a hair straightener or a curling iron, and I don't know which one. I think hair straightener because it's kind of square. Um, but yeah, no, that was a hair straightener. And the reason I know that is because you can hear sizzling. That is like her
Oh,
throat is being
that's what I
burnt.
thought was what. Yeah, I was watching this movie earlier today while I was watching it up in my living room. So there's a bunch of sun. So I probably saw the steam. It probably looked like water because of the light. Uh,
Yeah,
and I had the
yeah,
volume
no,
down
'cause
because the sex scene was in pretty close proximity to this. So
yeah. Yeah, no, I sat and watched it I think yesterday evening because honestly, if you're gonna watch a horror movie, do it at night. It's gonna make it 10 times worse. Even if it's such a shitty fucking horror movie, it's still gonna be 10 times worse.
I had to do this. I had to do this before. I have to do this now at the night.
I know. Because now it's the night and we're streaming and shit.
We're not. Yeah, we are. Hey,
Or
Twitch,
like
chat,
podcasting or whatever.
chat. You there? Chat. I don't know if they're there. It'll take them a while to catch up if they're there. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah, no, fuck
Adam
it was
so I have the fat guy's death as Blender Bad, and Adam illustrates white man privilege. I think that's the scene where he walks outside and like yells at the ghost to come out and he'll fuck it up and shit.
and he's like waving a gun around and shit.
No. He yells, "I have a gun." That's why I wrote down Adam illustrates white man privilege.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
But he
and,
was still waving the gun around.
and then the ghost told him to chill, so I said, "Chill, Adam."
Honestly though, Adam did need to chill out. He was I feel like Adam is the perfect like kind of like bad guy
Ooh,
without being a bad, you know what I mean?
I actually have.
Like he's an asshole.
Oh yeah. Fuck Adam, dude. I'm sorry. I have a gripe with your favorite scene.
Which one?
You know, when they play Never Have I Ever, they're counting down from 10 for them for whoever did the thing the ghost just revealed to take down their finger. They're counting down from 10 each time, you know, and
Yeah.
if whoever doesn't say
They
it, they die. And
Yeah.
then out of nowhere, they just add 20 extra seconds because
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
yeah, and I
They
just
increased the timer from 10 to 30.
yeah, there were no reasoning for this. They just did it, and you can so tell that it's my note is why extra time out of nowhere. You're making your formula obvious because that's literally all it is. You're making the thing. You're making the fact that you went okay. We have to create more tension now. You're literally just making that conversation pop up in my head. That's not filmmaking. That's failing.
No, I honestly like the scene because it's one of those where more time is also giving them more time to like think about how like what they should do and panic and stuff. And I think that's why I really like the scene because they keep pressuring each other to either show the note or don't show the note. And
Oh
then
yeah.
Blair, as the main character, is sitting there and she's like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know what the fuck to do. And had she only had 10 seconds, I can guarantee you, um, the boyfriend would have died. Blair's boyfriend would have died.
Oh yeah.
And that wasn't the point. His death would have come too early, and that's why they gave them 30 seconds, I think.
Yeah, I know. I
That
know
was
why
like an
they
off-the-cuff theory.
yeah, instead of figuring out a way to genuinely make it work, they just did that
Yeah.
and thought nobody would notice. But when you've given them 10 seconds five
Oh, we
times
noticed.
before now, and now when it's convenient for them to have a long discussion about it, they get 20 extra seconds.
Something that I also find really funny about it is they all keep saying, guys, we have to stick together on this. We have to stick together on this.
Oh yeah, and they
And
don't.
then they turn around and stab each other in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Literally less than a minute later.
that's my biggest problem with the entire movie. So the main character, right, the crying girl who's being unfriended here on screen, we don't want to be friends with her anymore, as you can tell. Anyway, she looks up when she starts to suspect that it's a ghost. Well, it's starting to become pretty obvious. She looks up what to do if you're being no, she looks up what if someone hacked a dead person's Facebook and they find a page that's like if a dead person's talking to you online, don't respond. And later, when she's sure it's a ghost, she comes back and looks if there's a way to fight it. And it says that
Yeah.
it wants some truth. So you just have to give it what it wants. She knows this. And even though she knows this, later when a bunch of people have died, when Adam dies, he doesn't he doesn't he didn't really give me that much of a guys we gotta stick together vibe, but that's what
Oh no,
she
it
says
was
when Adam dies, but then she 2 seconds after does the exact opposite and doesn't do that. And I'm
she
like,
literally sells out her own boyfriend to the ghost.
that doesn't
And
make
it's like
sense for her to
he
do.
did this thing like toward the end. The
Yeah,
ghost asks,
and she knew the
"What did I
solution.
do?"
Like none of the other characters had looked it up to our knowledge and found this page that she had that told her the solution, and even they were like, we just gotta get through it, and she didn't
Oh yeah.
do it.
Not to mention that a lot of the stuff that she found, she did not share at all with the group. She was like, "Oh, I found a bunch of evidence of this, and that," and then she was just like, "Oh, let me just keep that all to myself."
Like the fundamental idea of what as soon as it's made clear to them what that they're dead, this is their dead friend, and she's trying to open all of their eyes to the things they've done because to take revenge for them basically making her kill herself, as soon as the
Yeah.
characters figure this out, no sane human person wouldn't do anything in their power to just play the game. I get that it's fucking hard to say things, but the alternative is very obviously death.
Oh yeah. Honestly, if I was the one who had started asking the never have I ever, I would have gone, well, never have I ever drunk water out of a toilet.
Yeah, that's
Like that's a way to not get a bunch of bad truths out about yourself or your friends, and that's a way not to backstab your friends, you
well,
know what I
they
mean?
didn't get a chance to ask any questions. The only reason Adam got to ask that question was because he knew the ghost was going to ask that question.
Yeah, probably.
and he was drunk and angry, and that was some of the good, decent. I'm not gonna give this movie bonus points for doing what the bare minimum for being decent, for being good. You know, the
Mm.
norm should be me not having to sit there and go, that's not a good character. That the norm should be me not even thinking about the character because I'm invested in it, you know? So we shouldn't
Yeah.
give it bonus points for when it's not bad.
I mean, I still don't think that it was that bad. I personally like it, even if it's weird and funny and stupid most of the time.
My biggest problem, the reason why I won't say I like it is because it's not good at what it's very, very, very obviously trying hard to do. And the rest of it,
I think it's because
that's
it's stressed too hard.
no. I think it's because the people who had this idea either didn't know how to carry it to the end or didn't have or the time to carry it to the end or they just didn't, you know?
Yeah.
Because this clearly could have been better and it wasn't. And the parts of it that are not bad are just not enough for me to have a good time with this movie. I don't like spending slightly over an hour just being bored by choice. By choice. That's
I
the
mean,
issue.
it's one of those. I'm not personally gonna actively seek it out,
Never.
but I do like the movie. It's one of those. If it came up on like TV at some point, which we'll never do because I don't have a TV package and what have you.
Yeah, I don't want that
But if
either.
it did,
Gross.
but if it did and there was nothing else to watch, it's one of those, oh, I'm gonna sit down and watch this because it's not that bad. But I wouldn't actively go, oh, I'm gonna watch Unfriended unless I want to give a friend like a what the fuck kind of moment.
Oh, dude, fuck that movie. We've been going for like 40 for like 30 something minutes on about Unfriended. Fuck that movie. Ty is here.
Cool.
We're doing pretty good. Well, I think we are. Are we?
I think we are.
Yeah, we are.
Um, it's like as Unfriended for me is complicated.
That's oh my god, dude. We should change that unfriend GIF to complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah. Set relationship status. Complicated.
It's complicated. Oh, so our relationship status with Unfriended is set to it's complicated.
Yeah.
That's officially what we're giving it because it wasn't. It's not the worst movie I've seen. It's,
Oh hell no.
but I'm not gonna call it a good movie.
It's a good bad movie.
It's not even. No, it's not a good bad movie. There's not. It's not. No, you don't get to
That's
just.
no,
It's for
that is
you.
my personal
For
opinion.
you.
I like it. I feel like it's a good bad movie.
Good, good, yes. You can enjoy it, but Jesus Christ, I
Yeah.
can't.
No, and that's fair enough. But I still think it's good enough for me to enjoy it if it's randomly on TV somewhere.
Dude, you can turn your brain off slightly more than I can, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh hell
Damn.
yeah. Like
Isn't the stereotype that dudes are better at that usually?
you
Oh,
get like
oh no.
it's when you sit and watch a lot of TV, you just kind of learn to take the bad with the good or the good with the bad or whatever.
Alright, I still
Like
do that with YouTube and weed. I mean, what?
like like fucking the worst TV show I ever watched, Ghost Wars. I do not recommend. I watched the whole thing. The beginning was really awesome, and the end was just like, I think the writer ran into a writer's block and didn't know what to do with it next. It was shit.
Oh man. Ah. So, the thing that got me the idea for this was I this fuck. Let me reset. Brain reset. Brain has been reset. Yes, hello. Uh
Hello. Has the brain been reset?
Yes, it
Has
has.
it made the Windows startup sound?
Let me check. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. All right. Anyway, so I recently went to see A Quiet Place 2, and it was the first time I went to the cinema in like 3, maybe 4 years. So that's kind of
Mm,
insane. And I was a little nervous because it was the first time I was going to see a movie in the cinema, and it was a horror movie. And I saw the first one in cinemas. Wait, did it come out that
yeah.
long ago? Holy shit.
Yeah, no, the first A Quiet Place came out a while ago. I haven't seen the second one yet.
So the first one, it wasn't a masterpiece, but it scared me. It was,
It was fairly
and
good.
it entertained me, and it was good. I liked it. And I
Yeah.
came into the second one kind of overhyping myself to be murdered by the first jump scare. That would be if it was insanely good, and then I sat through the whole movie not really being scared at any point ever.
Mm.
And the five jump scares, they didn't really hit me either because I was just not in any kind of tense, and I was
See,
kind of
my
confused because they changed a lot of things. I won't go into that because we're not going to talk about that,
it's
but it just made
yeah.
me think because I was literally hyped up to be completely destroyed. Had it just been half as scary as the first one, it would have worked, but it wasn't.
See, I like the first A Quiet Place, right? But I didn't get scared by it.
That's fair.
Like it's a really cool movie. It's a really cool plot, and I love the monsters. I am crazy about the monsters. They are so awesome. Um, but I did not get scared from it at all. I think I got a little bit tense when the woman was about to give birth, because giving birth makes a lot of fucking noise.
Yeah. Yeah, like the
But
movie was
other than that, I
tense.
was just like, meh.
It gave you thrills. It did its job, and it was
It did
entertaining
it did a little
experience.
bit.
When I
Yeah,
came out of
it
the
it
second
was
one,
cool.
I wasn't ready to call it a bad movie. Like I didn't, it had entertained me, but not the way
Mm.
I wanted it to, not the way it should have, and
Have
nowhere
you
nearly
have
as much
you
as it should.
have you seen Get Out?
I have seen Get Out, and Get Out is
It's
fucking
cool.
great.
It's so cool. I like it so much.
I don't like Us as much. I feel like Us is he went a little too creative. I do like how creative it is, but I don't like it
I
as
have
much
not
as Get
seen
Out.
Us at all.
You haven't seen
I
Us?
have no, I've only seen Get Out. Um,
It's
yeah, no, I just like the whole like, oh, we're like
it's nowhere as
old
scary as Us.
people.
No, I mean Get Out. It's nowhere as scary as Get Out. It's a little too
Hmm,
ambitious,
yeah,
but
but no,
it's okay.
it's one of those like Get Out is weird in the way that like old white people don't want to die, so they steal the bodies of like young fit black men,
It hits hard because
and you
in the
just sit
scene
there
where you
like,
see there's
oh,
all those young fit black men and old rich white people
yeah.
and they didn't seem like the kind of white people that have black people around in that kind of manner, like at
Oh no,
all,
they were racist.
Yes,
I
with the
think like
hardest R you can be racist.
that was the vibe I got off them, and I think
And then it's like that and then it's a bunch of psychological. That's good horror. That's good horror.
oh hell yeah,
Where's that
that's
been?
why I like Get Out, cause I like psychological horror a lot. Psychological horror is the kind of horror that will give me the thrills and give me nightmares for days.
Exactly. And you gotta have a little
Um,
bit of psychological horror when you're just making any kind of horror. You gotta mix in the fear
yeah,
of darkness.
that's partly why I like The Grudge so much, because the ending is literally like, oh shit, did the thing follow her? Like did the woman from the house fall? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that is one of those where you just sit there like, oh no, oh no, she about to go through some shit again.
Yeah. Uh, okay, so should
We're
we
getting off track.
I've got one last thing of Unfriended before we can like start about scary movie.
Okay.
So one of my three last notes are, why do they suddenly not play like it's obvious what the ghost wants, so just do it?
Oh yeah.
What's even happening anymore? Bad unintense CGI ghost jump scare scene is not a good movie ending. It's like dry crackers.
I thought of the bad CGI ghost jump scare scene is bad CGI ghost jump scare scene. It's just shit.
Yeah, and they try to
Like,
tense it up and they completely overhype it, and I'm like, so this is where all the tension buildup went the entire movie, and you wasted on a bad CG ghost?
yeah, I feel like they should have done something else with that.
There's literally a
They
scene in the 2000 scary movie we also watched where there's bad CG snot. That CG snot was literally more pleasing and good looking CG wise than the ghost from 2014's Unfriended jump scare ending.
yeah.
That's disappointing.
It was oh my god.
I don't
I can't
I don't have a summary for scary movies, so you're gonna
I
have to
mean,
carry that.
let's okay, so basically for those of you who don't know, Scary Movie is this like weird like parody amalgamation of not just a horror genre, but like a crime thriller genre and sci-fi. So
Hollywood.
it's got yeah, it's like general Hollywood. So it's got what's it called? It's got Scream in there. Obviously, it's its main element, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, I think it's called. I've never seen those like
Yeah,
either
they,
of
they
those
they directly mention those movies by name as like a joke
as
in one
well.
part of the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
It's very
Um,
self-aware. It's a satire film, to be clear, so it's not supposed to be taken seriously
oh no, like you are supposed to sit and laugh at it. But
with it.
towards the end, it has got Matrix in there, right?
Yeah, that was
So
cool.
the whole like throwing and being able to see the ripples in the air, but also they have the usual suspects. And I don't have you ever seen that movie?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God. Okay, so you know where Doofy is like walking out and his
Oh,
limp
yeah, yeah,
corrects
yeah.
itself and
Oh,
stuff.
dude,
Yeah,
that's why it
that's the
was.
end to the usual
Yeah,
suspects.
yeah, I've seen a parody of. I've seen another, like, show or movie do a parody of that too, where someone mentioned it. That's why. Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
But yes, if you watch through the usual suspects, it's really really cool. It's a little bit slow going and slow build, but it pays off so well because it's about trying to find this like crime lord or whatever named Kaiser Soze, and the guy that they interview and then release has this limp, so they're like, oh, he can't be this like, crime lord or whatever. And then toward the end, they find out that all the stuff that he's been mentioning, like all like brand names and what have you, he's just been looking at the boards and the cups and stuff like that around the room that they're interviewing him in because they're
Oh God.
interviewing him in an office, and they let him go, and it's only after they let him go that they realize, oh shit, this guy has played us for fools.
And he's
And you
yeah.
can see as he's walking out, he corrects his limp, and he has a quick change of clothes, and he gets in a car and drives off. And at that point, it's too late. He's gone. The police cannot catch him. And that's what they did with Scary Movie and Doofy as well.
Yeah, what they did with Doofy, the way they did it, I honestly liked it, and they even genuinely hinted at it throughout the movie, so you could pick up on it. This movie
Yeah,
had a for real plot twist that was a
yeah.
parody of another movie's plot twist, but it worked. They took it seriously enough to make it work.
It worked so well, and I sat there like, oh,
And it's in a
but I was
movie
for
that we're
hype
not even
over.
supposed to take seriously. And it's so
Yeah,
much better than the one we were.
yeah, no, because we were supposed to take Unfriended seriously.
And we can't.
And
It's
Scary
so
Movie
bad.
is just like, whatever. But I think the reason I can take it seriously is because two of
They
the movies that it's referencing, I fucking love. Because I love The Matrix and I love The Usual Suspects.
Well, that and Scary Movie also does what it's trying to do, and it's not failing miserably at nearly everything it has to do to even be called a movie.
Truth. Truth.
Okay, it's not Unfriended is not struggling to even be a movie, but in some regards it is.
Yeah. Unfriended is struggling just a little bit to be a proper movie, but Scary
Honestly,
Movie is just like, hey, we're gonna do whatever and we're gonna get away with it, and they did. It
it,
worked.
yeah, Unfriended just kind of feels like you're sitting on the back burner of a very, very weird Skype call.
Yeah, it's
And if
you're
that's your kind
literally
of
just kind of
entertainment,
like
that's probably good for you, but
it.
nah.
It feels like for me with Unfriended, it feels like that. Feels like I'm sitting behind our main character Blair and just kind of like looking over her shoulder and just seeing what she's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So much like with Unfriended, there wasn't a lot of good. In Scary Movie, I didn't have a lot of bad notes, but see, the thing is, my first bad note is just I still don't like movie sex, but that was just
Movie
because
six will always be cringe.
that was just because Unfriended was fresh in my memory, and the first sex scene in this movie is actually just three jokes, and it's honestly not bad by any means.
Oh yeah, no.
It's more
No,
funny than it's
fucking
cringe, so
I loved it when Cindy and Bobby, the two like main characters, like started to like get it on or whatever.
yeah.
And then another dude crawls up her window and is like, "Oh, it's the wrong set." And he
No,
leaves again.
oh yeah, he like comes up and then he's almost on the way into the window and then he sees it and he
And
looks
he looks
confused
around.
and then he goes, "Ah, wrong set," and then just crawls out. Yeah.
Yeah. As if he'd accidentally like stumbled in like into the set of Scary Movie and
Uh,
thought that was the thing that they were filming.
yeah, and then the second joke, the one that ends it, is that she tells him to stop, and he's like, "Oh, you're not ready," and she's like, "Well," and then she pulls up, and she's got a literal electrified grid on top of her
Around her,
underwear,
yeah. It's
and it
fucking
says "Stay
great.
out."
Yeah.
My only other two bad notes about this, there could be a few more, but I didn't choose to write them down. One of them was fart humor, because there's a bit of fart humor, but it's an early 2000s film, so
I mean, obviously there's gonna be fart humor,
yeah.
but they could have toned it down
And then there
a
was the
little
one
bit.
fat joke. I knew they were gonna pull the fat joke, and I went, "You're an early 2000s film. You're a very early 2000s film, and this looks so much like a fat joke, but don't make this a fat joke." They made it a fat joke.
Wait, which one was that? I may have missed it.
But it wasn't, they didn't even call her fat. Okay, so like when the party's going in the house, there's this she's not even like super obese or anything, and there's nothing like pointing out her weight. She is wearing like a see-through top, and she asks if there's more beer, and she goes out to get more beer, and I goes, "Oh no, they're
Yeah,
gonna
that
make it a
girl.
fat joke. They're gonna make it a fat joke. Why else would they put
Yeah.
her in a see-through top in a movie like this?" And sure enough, the killer arrives after two fake offs that were pretty funny, and she
Yep.
can only escape through attempting to crawl through the cat door, even though it is haha so tiny, and she is ho ho so big.
So
Hee
big.
hee.
Yeah.
Laugh.
Yeah. I sat there like, oh, of
It,
course she is
it could
going
have
for
been
that.
so much worse, though, so I'm
It
honestly
could
not.
have.
I'm not.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like anyone would try to crawl through the cat door. I'm sorry.
They just had to make it the thick gal.
Yeah.
Just
Which I feel
they
is a
just
bit of a
had to make
shame.
it the curvy young woman.
She was real cute though.
Yeah, she looked great in that top.
She was real cute.
And then was that a skirt or pants? Damn. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Um, Scary movie.
Oh yeah, scary movie. Do
We
do.
weren't trying to hit on one of the
Oh,
actresses from like the early 2000s.
I actually have a funny. I actually have a very funny story related to a scary movie,
Hmm?
because during as I was sitting there watching the very famous first introduction scene where he kills a lady with some quite sizable fake tatas, he like shanks her in the chest, and like the entire implant is stuck on the knife, and he looks at it really confused while she keeps running, and he's like,
And then
he gets it off,
gets
and then he's
so
like, "What the
disgusted.
fuck?"
Like before he gets it off, he's like, ugh.
But Yeah, that right there, that scene, that clip, that was the first ever like horror related media I was like what's it called that I was exposed to.
Yeah. I really fucking loved when she ran out of the house and there were the two signs.
Dude, I don't think you understand. I was lying on my half cousin's floor on a mattress next to my other half cousin who had told me we're going to pretend to sleep while the two others watch a movie that's going to be a movie for them. And I went, okay. And then we watched that and pretended to sleep while we watched it, but that was a scary movie.
Oh my
I was
god.
7.
I think when I watched it the first time, I was in like sixth grade or something.
Oh, you had
I
quite the
had
age.
yeah, I had uh, not been wanting to watch it because I was like, it's called Scary Movie, it's gonna be scary. And I didn't know any better. Because I like back then I was not a big fan of horror. Um and then we watched it in class one day, and that's why I suddenly remembered, oh wait, she gets like stabbed in the chest and then the implant comes out, right? Because I wrote you about that, didn't I? I was like,
Yeah, I
this is
still
something that happens, right?
Yeah, I still really don't like that scene. That's the exact thing that's like burned into my memory. Just the blue of the implant on the gray of the fake knife with the red
Yeah.
of the fake blood. I just remember that's burned into my memory. Like that hidden memory, that traumatization just got pulled up. I think that's why I'm not into fake tits. Why am I
Yeah.
talking like that? I'm not a douchebag, I swear. I don't talk about shit like that often, do I?
No, you don't.
I have a literal deer bone lying on my desk. Have I ever mentioned this?
No, I
That was
don't
a
think you
clever
have.
subversion, wasn't it?
It was.
But I
Um,
do have a literal deer bone on my desk. I think it's from its lower leg joint on the front leg. I found it in the woods once.
nice. Hopefully you've cleaned it off and stuff, yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I mean, just like a general cleaning. I don't
yeah,
remember how you do it, but there is like a specific way to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You don't sound convincing.
Well, it's been lying on my desk for like for like a year pretty soon,
And it's
so.
probably fine then. I mean, honestly though, if there's not
And
like
I found it like a
weird
tiny bit
stuff
into the
on it.
I found it like buried under a bunch of sticks. There was like nothing else in the vicinity of it, so I'm pretty sure it's
Oh.
been old. So it's been there for a while, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it's not so much that sometimes obviously, spiders will lay eggs on the stuff and then suddenly you'll just have like hundreds of thousands of spiders all around your
Oh,
home.
that kind of issue. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If that would have been a problem, that would have been a problem a year ago.
Oh yeah. No, that was just why I was like, you did remember to clean it, yes.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Sure, totally.
Totally, 100% remember to clean it.
Remember,
Um,
remember how I had a bad thing about Unfriended that was like they mentioned the name of the movie?
uh-huh.
In Scary Movie, they do the same thing, but they do it in a clever way because the first good note I had is name of a film in movie, clever placement, let's go! Because the
Yeah.
characters are like, it's not like we're in some kind of scary movie or anything, and then they all laugh, which is obviously like a
I
fake laugh.
I no joke had a CinemaSins moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah?
Like every time a title gets dropped in a
Oh,
movie,
oh yeah.
yeah, I have like a small CinemaSins moment. I love it so much.
But
Uh,
you can do it if you do it right, and this was like intentionally meant as that joke, you know, and it's a movie where they're doing that, so I feel like if you gotta do it like that anywhere, then they did it right.
yeah. I love how self-aware the movie is as well when like when they're right in the beginning sitting and talking on that like fountain or whatever right
Oh
in front of
yeah,
the school. And
yeah.
they're like, it would probably be some late 20s to 30-year-old actor or whatever it was they said that would play us. And I'm just sitting there like, but it is, you guys probably were like
Yeah,
late 20, early 30
that was gonna be
when you
one of
were.
the bad things, but then I remember, oh yeah, it's a scary movie. They make fun of that in this movie, so they made them intentionally slightly even older, so it's obvious.
Yeah, and you can see that it's obvious. Also, the totally gay character that's supposedly not gay.
Yeah, I was about to go. Should we talk about the gay jokes? Because for the most of the film, I was worried they were gonna take it the wrong way, especially when they introduced him. But honestly, he's like wearing a
Yeah,
tank top, and he goes, "Hey man, do I look gay in this?" And then his friend goes, "Nah," and then he like folds it up, and he like
yeah,
ties it up in a way that's like that gay dudes
definitely
do at
gay.
Pride and shit. And he goes, "What about now?" And
Yeah,
his friend goes, "Nah, man." And then he just takes it off and puts on a t-shirt and goes, "Alright, thanks."
yeah, and I was just like, oh, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that was a funny
he definitely
that was
is
okay.
a little bit of something. You know what I mean?
It being an early 2000s, like 2000 movie with a not gay character, even though it's the joke, I was worried they were gonna take it too
That was
far, but they didn't
that
really.
was an insane amount of respect, though.
Yeah,
I feel like
they really didn't
for an
fuck
early
on it.
2000s movie.
Yeah, they never really like went, "You gay, haha." They never did that.
Yeah, no.
They like the worst thing was the ear fuck thing, but that wasn't really like because he was gay. That was literally just the thing that happened, which after the twist doesn't make sense, but I feel like that's why they did it, because after the twist they did some of the things. It's supposed to
Yeah.
not make sense because they also go, "Yeah, it's a scary movie. They don't make sense."
Mm.
And she goes, "But it's not a movie, it's real life." Every time they set up a joke for them, every time they made a joke where they were like, but this is real life, I was so ready for them to just slowly look at the camera. And then a joke
Oh
like
yeah,
that came.
just like awkwardly break the fourth wall.
Yeah, but then no, not awkwardly, but like where you do something and then they look. No,
Yeah.
where they don't like obviously look, but they like look their eyes, so you know, or that
Oh
you know
yeah.
that they know.
Oh yeah.
But no, instead he like went real life. No, this is a scary movie. There's the cameraman. I can see him right over there. The sound guy. And then the camera turns around and all the people look really disappointed. And then the movie keeps going like nothing happened.
Wasn't there a TV show at some point that literally broke the fourth wall? And I've only ever seen this in GIFs, so I don't actually know where it came from. It was like an
You
old
mean
TV
Chowder?
show, and I think
Chowder
no,
broke the
and I
fourth
think
wall all the
it was
time.
like I know, but it's not that I'm talking
Aw,
about. It was like a live action.
I love
Um,
Chowder.
and I think it was like black people that it was centered around, and
Ah.
and it's a young man, and the line goes, "We're so rich, why can't we afford a ceiling?" And it like pans to the top because it's a set, you know what I mean? So it's just like a
Oh,
bunch of like
oh, that's fucking
paper walls
hilarious.
with the lights in the ceiling, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I want to know where that's from. But that is an excellently executed fourth wall break.
You want to know how you bring that back down? The character the
How?
other character is talking to when the camera pans back says, "We don't talk about that," and then the camera just pans back down, and they keep carrying on their conversation like nothing happened.
that
Um.
is uh
Oh my God! They hit a
hmm?
boot. Where's the foot? So they're out. So they have a flashback, and they're out driving and drinking, and they hit a guy, and they all like, "We hit something," and they get out, and one of them sees is like, "Oh my God, we hit a boot!" And then someone just
Yeah.
yells, "Where's
And
the
they're
foot?"
and they're totally panicking over having hit this boot.
Yeah, where's the
And
foot?
then they see the supposedly dead guy on the road, and they're like, "Oh no, we killed him.
We gotta
We
deal
have
with
to hide
this.
his body. We gotta deal with this."
We can't hide the body. We gotta call the police. No, we can't call the police. We go to jail. Hey, people get fucked in jail. I don't want to get fucked in jail. And then the not gay guy goes, "Hey, I don't know about this. Maybe we should call the police." And then they have
Yeah.
this whole discussion while the guy gets up and is like, "No, no, it's okay. I'm fine." And he
Like, guys, I'm fine. I'm gonna leave.
he puts his boot
And then they
on and
throw a
everything. And then they like, I think one of them took a swig of alcohol and another one threw the bottle. No, he threw the bottle because he was angry and it hit the guy on
yeah.
the head. And then they go to deal with the body.
Yeah, cause they don't like they did not hear him get up. They did not hear him go like, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, and he
So,
didn't. He wasn't even haunting them. It was Doofy
oh
though. It
no,
was Duffy though. It was Doofy the whole time.
exactly.
And apparently also her boyfriend and her best friend's boyfriend, because they found out they were gay, except the best friend's boyfriend didn't, because no, he's obviously not gay. You know?
But the boyfriend is
Yeah, he discovered himself.
like, oh yeah, which is totally good for that one, dude.
They literally had a scene where they're like coming clean with everything and confronting her, the main
Yeah.
character with it, and he's like and he's like telling her this, and then the not gay guy joke guy, he literally goes, but no, what are you talking about, man? Not me. And he goes, what about when we went to Vegas and the time we spent well, I have to go shopping, He's still coming
It
up
was
with
actually great.
excuses.
It was actually great. And then the boyfriend is just like, well, at least I'm gay.
Well, at least I discovered myself, and now I'm gonna kill you. And
And
then
then he proceeds to not.
yeah, and then the real killer shows up, and she has the epic fight with him, and the cops
I mean,
show
we
up.
gotta remember before the real killer shows up, which obviously is Doofy. So before Doofy shows up,
Oh yeah,
the
Doofy.
obviously not gay guy
Oh yes.
goes to like stab the gay guy, well, the other one, the boyfriend or whatever, um, because they have to make it look convincing that like she was murdered and the killer was there and those two boys were the only survivors or whatever.
I'm an idiot. Why is there no Doofy on this thing?
I don't know.
I need to add Doofy
Um,
in here.
um,
You keep going, bro.
but yeah, no. So like the not gay guy is stabbing the other boy, um, and has his back turned, and then no one sees the killer sneak up. Like no one sees him sneak up, and he stabs the not gay guy. I love that phrase so
Yeah,
much.
they have a deal because they're gonna stab each other, so it looks like they were attempted to be killed and nobody else made it, and the killer escaped. So he like
Yeah,
stabs him, and he's like, "All right, now my turn to stab you." And then he's like, "Nah, ain't nobody stabbing me." And then the real killer kills him.
and stabs him.
Yep, with a meat hook.
Stabs. Yep. And that is when he has an epic fight with our main character Cindy.
Oh yes, and that was Doofy the whole time.
That was Doofy the whole time.
I just
And you gotta
wanna.
remember the whole movie, Doofy is this like like 25 and a half year old young man
With
who's acting like a child like really, really well.
he has an issue called mental retardation, and I'm only saying that because that is literally what it is, and I'm not using
Yeah.
it in a demeaning manner, but because it's an early 2000s film, of course there are characters calling him retard, of course.
Yeah, because people didn't know better at the time.
Yeah, which made me go, but honestly,
Oh
like
yeah, I even sat there like, oh no.
going into the film, I was worried most of the humor would be like that, but like no, it's pretty good. It's honestly
The
just
humor
funny.
is literally the movie just taking the piss of itself. It's
Yeah,
just having a laugh at
yeah, it's
itself.
like going, hey Hollywood, eat a dick.
It yeah, literally. It was like one little part of Hollywood went, "Hey, we actually hate the rest of it. We're gonna make fun of it."
Yep.
And then they did,
Yeah, and
and
then
they
they wound up making
succeeded.
4 of them.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like leaving it at the first one there is fine.
I remember the second one maybe is also okay. I think the second or okay, so I'm pretty sure the second one it makes primarily fun of The Grudge and like some older classics like they make some more direct fun at some older movies too. And then the third
Yeah.
one is War of the Worlds. Unless that's the fourth one.
Ooh, War of the Worlds is a good movie though.
They used to all be on Netflix, and I used to just watch them, and then they all disappeared for years, and now the first one is just back.
Yeah.
And it still had
I
the
think
same amount of progress from last time I saw it, so you clearly didn't remove it, Netflix. Where did it go?
no, they removed it. I have had a few times where I have seen like a show or something and then they removed it. Like I watched Merlin on Netflix, I think 7 years, like 7 or 8 years ago, right? And then they removed it. And then like 4 years ago, I think it came back, so I rewatched it.
Oh.
But my progress was the same, so your progress will just be the same. I don't know why, but it's literally just like they're just adding the data back in. I don't know.
It's Doofy.
It's Doofy.
Now I just gotta figure out where to put Doofy.
Put him somewhere good.
Yeah, Doofy's. Oh man, where's somewhere good?
I don't know, dude.
Should he be rescuing? Doofy's the one who's unfriending her.
Yes.
I'm gonna move her out a little bit more because there's a bit unnecessary shit there, and then we just move that there, and then it's Special Officer Doofy.
Oh yeah.
And of course you've been spooked, Ghost Gang.
Oh yeah, no, like honestly, the guy who plays Doofy plays him really, really well. Because he never until the end really 100% figures out that he's the killer.
I I went I picked up on the hits, and the thing is, I have a knack for doing that while I'm watching movies and shit.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised that that vibe I had gotten was right, because I went, nah, there's no way they're gonna do that in this dumb movie. But they did, and I went, holy shit, they actually did it.
Oh yeah.
And they did it.
I really liked that twist.
Yeah, especially where he's like, where's Doofy? Anybody seen Doofy? And he's just walking out there, and he just lights a cigarette and gets his hair up and puts on a jacket, hops in a car next to a lady, and then they just drive off. And I'm just like, who the fuck's that lady?
By the way, that lady, I bet you she's the journalist
It looked,
in the
I
gift
thought
you
it was
just
the
popped in.
journalist too.
I bet you that she's that journalist.
I love the fucking. Oh yeah, he fucked her earlier. I love the fucking.
Yeah.
So there's a very invasive journalist making fun of how invasive journalists are, where she's specifically yelling "fuck you," and to get people's attention, like the person she's trying to get to turn around for the media, she yells, "Hey, your ass looks fat," shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
She literally
Oh,
goes
yeah.
up to the spot where she knows the killer is probably going to be killing teenagers, and she finds a teenager, and the teenager gets killed by the killer, and then once the killer's done killing the teenager, she was trying to interview the teenager while she was being killed, and when he's done with her, she tries to interview, the killer, and he gets all like mad, like you just started filming someone at their genuine job, like, I'm just trying to do my job here. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Just filming. Get that camera out of my face. And then it
And it
cuts
makes
to them just running.
It's such a good thing though, because that is something that a lot of movies use. A lot of crime TV especially,
Yeah,
like
and
crime
it's a
shows.
fucking murderer.
Like people in crime shows will get legitimately mad. Will get legitimately mad that they're being filmed by something, and I love that so much that they took the piss out of that.
Because to me, that felt like how I would react if I was just trying to do my job and someone came up to me doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, come on, get that shit out of my face. I'm trying to do my job here, man. That's disrespectful. And that's what he
Yeah,
does.
especially because they're in the way. You know what I mean?
And they like came to the spot where they're like obviously going to be a killer murdering teenagers because there's teenagers getting frisky up here. And he even goes like, what do you think you're doing coming up here filming me with that camera? Get it out of my face. I'm trying to do my job here. Can't you see that?
Yeah.
Shit,
That
man.
that same journalist also shot a kid in the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah. She's like talking, and there's a bunch of people crowding behind her, and there's the scene.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, like there always is on news, but one of them's like yelling, and he keeps yelling, and she tells him to shut up, but he doesn't, so she just straight up pulls out a gun and shoots him, and then all the other dudes just vanish. Wonder why.
Yeah, they no, it's like she shoots him.
Yep.
And then everyone else like scatters in fear because
They're
they're
just
like,
gone.
"Oh fuck! If
Like-
we don't get out of here, she's gonna kill all of us."
She pulls out
And
the
then she
gun.
just continues like it's nothing. It's like 2 dead teenagers, as if
Yeah, yeah. And later, while she's just calmly going over the script, talking to the camera guy steps on her foot, and she's just like, "Ah, you fat fuck! What have I told you? What have I told you? Don't step on Mrs. shoes because they're really expensive." Exactly.
Yeah,
And then she just keeps going.
actually great. I really like Scary Movie.
That was a really good experience after a very, very bland experience.
Oh yeah, it was like a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean?
Like, I honestly feel like the actors crying in that movie was wasted because I couldn't take their acting at the end, how screaming and crying they were. I couldn't take it seriously because the movie itself wasn't scary. But, they
Mm.
could cry on demand.
Oh yeah.
They did their job. But the Scary Movie crew definitely did it way better with appropriate direction and an
Oh yeah,
actual
but
good
but I
film.
mean, let's be honest. As I said earlier, Unfriended was like the first movie of its kind where it's all on one screen.
I won't give you an excuse. I won't excuse
Um,
it for that, man.
no, I will because it's hard doing something for the first time and you're not going to be good at it. I can imagine if more movies like this had been made, it wouldn't have been as bad as it is.
I can respect that, but I can understand your point. And yes, I don't doubt that if some other movie had been made like that before it would have been a better movie, but that still doesn't excuse that they released this and thought it would be a good movie.
Mm.
that they released this and called it a good movie.
It's a decent movie, in my opinion.
Hold on, I forget. Was the budget to it actually high? Because I don't remember if it was like it looks like it would be pretty cheap, right? But if the
Yeah,
budget was
I can't
stupidly
see it
high, I'm gonna be
being too
mad.
high. I can't see the budget being too high on this one.
2014 budget. Let's try and see. Do do do. It had $1 million.
Which, if you compare it to some of
I
the
don't
other like,
fucking care. I could have made a better movie with $1,000.
no, I'm just saying that if you compare $1 million to some of the other movies that have been made for more that are worse, it's not that bad.
I don't care. You give me $1 million, and I'll at least.
Dude, I
First of
don't
all,
have $1 million.
First of all, I'm not gonna try to just jump for a fucking full-on feature-length film. I'm gonna try my strength on a short film first with a concept that I'll try on, and if it works, then I'll try and see if it works in a slightly larger format on an audience first, and if it doesn't, then I'll
Oh
find
yeah.
a better idea I can stretch to a larger format.
Yeah.
Use your brain before you
Either
plan
way,
things and do things. Don't use it too much.
something that really, really pissed me off with Unfriended, right?
Yeah?
It was the sound of the clickety clack from the keyboard.
Yeah, it was too invasive.
Not just that, but it didn't always line up with what she wrote. So sometimes you'd hear like 3 clicks, but she'd write out a whole sentence.
Yeah, or she's like deleting a single block. She's like typed out a sentence. Who deletes a sentence? Who go okay, so if you're like deleting one word or like a few words, I get why you go.
Yeah,
But if your intention is to remove the whole sentence, you go.
you press it once.
Yes, and it was clearly only pressed once. So why did they feel the need to do?
I don't fucking know. That's one of the things that really ticks me off about Unfriended is that the clickety clack from the
Yeah,
keyboard is not right. It does not line up with what would
they clearly don't
be
get
in real life.
the reason
Not to
why
mention, she is a really fast typer, apparently.
I can't
Is what it
just
looks like.
yeah, I can't just give it an excuse for it being it's for the first of its kind though, because it fails at doing fundamentally basic horror things like
And when it,
completely multiple times.
as I said, the biggest issue I have with it is the clickety clack. That is the biggest issue, and that is such a minor thing. I can kind of excuse it, although it did take away from the movie by quite a lot because it's constant typing. There's always typing.
Like they can't get the tension right for a single cheap-ass jump scare. If you can't even do that, why would you make a whole horror movie? The point of horror movies is tension and knowing when to increase it and keep it
Yeah.
flowing. And this movie has none of it. None.
I'm actually curious.
Okay, a little bit. Tiny bit.
What's one of your favorite like horrors or thrillers that
See,
you've ever watched?
Have you seen Seven?
I haven't, but I've heard about it a lot recently.
It's good. It's fucked.
I like a good fucked
Have you
movie.
have you seen The Night Guard?
No, I don't watch a lot of horror.
Well,
or
that's
thriller.
actually I'll send if I think it might be on Netflix. I'll show it. Okay. Don't. I'm gonna send you a sneaky little thing here. Don't read this out loud, okay? Or someone's going to die. That's basically the plot of
I hope
Unfriended.
the fuck not. But yeah, no, cause one of my favorite like horrors or thrillers is The Right. And I don't know if you've ever seen The Right, but it's really fucking good. And it's all about religion and demons being a thing and like exorcism. It's so cool. Yeah.
That kind of movie. I can imagine
In one
why
of
it's
the
scary.
in one of the key roles. I'm sorry?
I can imagine why it's scary then.
Yeah. Like if it's got him in one of the key roles, right? Yeah, it is Anthony Hopkins.
I don't know who they
As
I
one
don't
of
know
the
actors, man.
key characters, and I love that so much.
What do you think I am? Some kind of
You
knower?
don't remember who Sir Anthony Hopkins is?
No, listen, you think I'm some kind of person knower? Look, I know random animal facts, random world facts, random history facts,
Same.
random video game facts, random
So-
movie and trivia
so-
facts, but I do not know actor names. That's
Okay, so you have you watched Marvel movies? Specifically Thor movies.
Thor movies are like the only ones of the early ones I actually haven't seen. I gave up on
You
Marvel a
haven't
while
seen
ago.
those. Okay.
Look, the superhero shit got stale on me pretty fast.
No, it's cause he plays Odin in Thor. That's why.
Oh, that guy!
that would
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
From what I remember anyway. He also plays characters in Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter, stuff like that. I
Ooh.
haven't ever seen one of those.
Hannibal Lecter's
But
good.
he plays Odin.
Classic.
So that's the guy. That's Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, that's why his name fucking sounds and seems important, because it is.
Yeah. He's a good fucking actor.
I can imagine.
Who's been in a lot of like horror thriller stuff. He's so good at the genre. It's actually insane.
I think he's a better actor than. Hold on, I gotta find out what the name of the guy who said. Okay. Troll 2 actors. I gotta find out what the name of the guy that says "Oh my god" is.
Oh my god.
Wait, what's the name of the character that goes "Oh my god"? Is it Peter? Is it Peter?
I don't fucking know, dude. I haven't seen it.
That doesn't look like the right one. Hold on. I just gotta find one where he's doing the funny scream. The guy who does the funny scream would have the funny scream. Yes! It's Darren. His name is Darren. His name is Darren Ewing. Darren Ewing. Darren Ewing? Darren Ewing?
Ewing?
Yeah, it's
Maybe?
E-Wing. Literally E-Wing. Let me here.
Darren or Darren?
It's Darren Ewing. Ewing? Ewing?
Let's see, I'm Googling him real quick. Yeah, I spelled it correctly then.
He was in a movie this year. Last year.
Can I search? Thank you, Google.
He was in a movie named Cyst last year. What? Dude, that seemed
Yeah,
fucking
I
cool.
I have not. He was in Return to Halloween Town, which and also Good Luck Charlie. So
Oh.
that tells you what kind of stuff that he's into as well.
Yeah, it's his is this what was the guy we were talking about before?
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, is his acting performance anywhere near as stunning as Darren Elling's beautiful performance right here above Frosty the Snowman?
Oh my God,
Yeah,
so much better.
no fucking chance. Can't beat that. Oh my god. Okay, what was your favorite scene from Scary Movie?
Um, my favorite scene, I think honestly, was when Drew, the first person to get murdered, is just having a casual conversation with the killer on the
Oh,
phone.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I think that's so funny because she just picked up the phone. It's this number that she doesn't know,
yeah,
and he's like asking her name and stuff like that. And then they just go on to talk about, oh, well, what's your favorite movie and what have you. And I'm just like, what?
yeah, and then he comments on how big her boobs are, and says, "I
Yeah.
can see you." No, he says, I can see you," and comments on how big her boobs are, and she gets a little shocked and goes, and it
He
cuts
kind
to
of like
him.
snaps back to reality.
It snaps to him, and he's genuinely looking at a porn mag, and then it cuts
Yeah.
back to her, and she's shocked and goes, "Who is this? What do you want?" "I want to see your insides." And then she goes, "Go to page 53." And then he like folds the
Yeah.
magazine out and goes, "Whoa." That was, oh my god. That's when I knew I was in for a good time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, like that show was brilliant. I sat there like, oh my God, because the whole like I see you right now, it snaps her a little bit back to reality. And then he says that and she just gives him the page number as if it's a typical dumb blonde moment.
Yeah. I
It's
love
such a typical dumb blonde moment. I love it.
I love that her entire scene at the end is just making fun of every old horror film where a woman, barely clad blonde woman, is being chased down by a monster.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, they directly parody that, where someone is not taking being killed seriously, and she makes fun of it, but then she ends up breaking her own leg and crawling across the floor, and the killer just looks
Yeah.
at her like, "What the fuck?
Like
Dude!"
he even scratches the knife against his head as in like,
Yeah, and when
huh?
she breaks her leg, he's like shocked and like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. I really like that. That was cool too.
Yeah, yeah, like you thought they had already done their chase joke, but no, they had an even better one in there.
Oh yeah.
And this wasn't even supposed. Okay, so I love how we watched this movie with the intention of watching a good bad horror, but it's not even scary, and I just forgotten it's never scary. But it just reminded me of, a lot of things this movie makes fun of are literally seriously attempted by Unfriended and failed at.
Oh, yeah.
That was so funny and sad.
Yeah, no, like what's it called? I completely lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. My head just went, I'm gonna shut down now.
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
It's a little annoying.
Yeah, I
I
get the
wish they
vibe.
wouldn't.
Sadly, we don't have much of a choice.
Dude, what?
Sadly, we don't have much of a
Oh,
choice.
I heard you. I heard ya.
What are you talking about, man? I just took a sip of water.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Of course.
I don't know
Of
what you're
course.
talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, my guy.
Special Officer Doofy. Oh man, I can't parody that anymore. That's offensive to do nowadays. And that's coming from someone who literally went through special ed through their last years of normal school. Yeah, you heard me. I went to special ed. It wasn't like a super special ed, but we had some ADHD boys and some ADD types. We had the upsers and downers. We had a few. I grew up
I
in
mean,
that. So I
I
feel
mean,
like if anyone should make any jokes, I'm not the one, but I'm getting closer.
I'm literally in a class that's meant for people with like diagnosis and stuff like that,
Dude, that's for
or
another
like
reason though.
people that are like struggling. Oh yeah, no, I know, but like
I made a really bad poor taste joke there. I called you really dumb without
yeah,
I just genuinely insulted your intelligence for no reason. Why did I do that?
I don't know, my guy.
This is what
I don't
Unfriended
know.
did to me, man.
You made it made you irrationally angry.
No, it just made me it made me unfriend the world. I've unfriended yeah, I'm just yep, I'm no we're still friends of course, and I'm still friends with you, Twitch chat. Maybe. I don't know. Were we friends? I mean, I thought we were,
What
but
what what the two of us or
no,
your Twitch?
I'm talking to Twitch chat right now. You think they were my
Oh,
friend? I thought they were. I thought of them as my
I still
friend.
think they are.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that wasn't just me. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah.
ha! Get fucking left on the mic. That was mean.
No.
Ah, dude, I get mean when I run out of tea.
Then go make some more
I don't want to go
teas.
make some more.
Then don't go make some more
We
teas.
we've been going for nearly 2 hours. At this point, if I go make some more, it's not gonna be worth it.
True.
If I was to take a tea break, we shouldn't have been riffing this well. But damn, dude.
Yeah. No, like I'm like halfway through my Coke right now.
Uh,
Coca-Cola. I need to clarify this.
why? It's
Just so people don't misunderstand.
I thought you were drinking rum and coke.
I
That's all.
am.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm halfway through the Coke.
oh, you thought. You. Oh, man,
Yeah,
I am
Coke
dumb
kind of means
sometimes.
two words. Coke kind of means two words, so I had to clarify it was Coca-Cola and
Yeah,
not Coke
and
Coke.
I forgot that when you said that.
I know I'm drinking rum and Coke 'cause I haven't
You're.
had a ages.
I can't. That was, dude. I caught like half of 2 words there.
Oh no.
Don't worry, you haven't been cutting out too bad.
That's good. I mean, my internet isn't the best,
Nah, mine neither.
but it works. It works.
Especially not since my mom started working from home.
Hmm.
Nah. Or did who now? Or did what now?
I don't know.
Dude, man. Okay, I feel like we've started to run out of fuel here because we've talked about
Yeah.
everything we liked
We've
about Scary Movie and the few bad things, and we don't want to talk about Unfriended anymore.
well, you don't want to talk about Unfriended anymore. I feel like
Do you?
I mean, yes, kind of,
Alright,
but I
sure.
don't know what to say because I'd need someone to spar with, you know what I mean?
Uh,
Like I have no idea what the fuck that I can say about Unfriended anymore because I don't have
what was even the character of her boyfriend at all? He didn't even have a character at all. Adam was the douchey dick, and then we had Blair, who was a little bit of. I caught she was a bit of a chit chatty girl. I think that was the vibe.
no, no, Blair.
Yeah, Blair
I
was the
I
main
feel like
character, but the blonde one,
Blair.
she was a bit of
Yeah, the
a.
Oh yeah, no, she was a bit of a chit chatty. Blair definitely 100% was the little bit of like, I don't know if I want to call her a little bit of a prude or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's definitely like,
Oh my
oh,
god, she's a bitch. She's so she I wouldn't call her a bitch to a face, but I probably would call her a stuck up or something like that. Because
yeah.
she's not outright just the worst human being ever, but my god. Wow.
Something that I found really, really, really funny is that as soon as they find out that the girl who committed suicide is the ghost, that Laura is the ghost,
Yeah.
um they immediately start talking smack about her.
Yeah.
Like they immediately start talking shit about her,
Well,
and it's like, well, it's not like she was a good person or anything, you know what I mean?
that was one of the plot points that the movie didn't really introduce or carry properly. They
I
wanted it.
would have loved to see why she wasn't actually a good person.
Blair was the no. Blair was the only. That's not the part of it that was the issue. Everybody thought she was a shitty person, but she was only shitty because she had issues with her uncle that Blair didn't, that Blair knew about. But they
Yeah.
never did anything with that.
I don't know.
Everybody just called her a shitty person, and then Blair went, "You didn't know her like I did," and then
And then never elaborated on it.
she typed out she had some problems with her. It was her uncle, and she kept deleting the message, and then she just didn't say anything.
Yeah, she was just like, I think the last thing she wrote was literally just like she had some family issues
Yeah,
or something like that, or it was like it was some family stuff or whatever.
I will say,
And
like,
you just are like, oh,
the bullying they did to her wasn't okay, but at the same time, you're not
it was
excused for behaving like a piece of shit from feeling bad, and she must have acted like quite the piece of shit most of the time from feeling
yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah.
So, like, she's not a saint in any of this. I was sitting the whole movie just thinking, so your point is that they bullied you to suicide even though you were a bad person too? They also just gotta die? Okay.
Not just that, but the apparent bullying was putting up videos and like taking videos of her at a party.
Yeah.
Like obviously humiliating
Yeah, but
herself.
those videos
But
wouldn't even be kept up
no, they would get taken down like ASAP.
fast.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
She's checking up on her, like, the first thing where she's on Live Leak watching the suicide footage, that makes sense. And then she goes on to YouTube to find a video of a drunk girl passed out with shit all over herself, and the text, she shat herself in her sleep, and the text, "Kill
Yeah.
yourself, Laura Barnes," that would
Oh
be
yeah.
taken down. Like,
Immediately.
that's one of the things that everybody online was talking about when this movie like got its wave of critique online. I remember everybody was like, this wouldn't be kept up, so that's why I haven't mentioned this till now.
Yeah.
But
But
yes,
it's one of those things that would not have been kept up at all by YouTube because of their policies and what have you.
that's another reason why I won't
Um,
give them an okay for being the first people who made a computer screen movie, because they clearly didn't know enough about computers themselves or internet culture to make a movie about it.
Not to mention, now I know I am a lot on PC, right? And not everyone knows about this. But it is inexcusable that it's only the tech guy who knows about trolls.
Yeah,
Like
this movie's
even
from
for
2014.
2013,
It's from
like
20.
like like even this doesn't matter if it's from 13 or 14. It's
Well,
literally years.
they're supposed to be our generation, so yes, they definitely should know by then.
Exactly.
I can
Exactly.
understand that one of them, like the blonde one, or maybe like two of them, went like troll,
I can
and then someone
I
clarified.
like I can understand Val not knowing about it and the blonde girl as well.
But the
The
troll
the
was
the,
the
the
only
girl who
one who
ended up
knew.
getting.
No,
Yeah.
the Ken. His name was Kennington, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
His first name was Kennington, and first I thought maybe that's his username. But no, all of the other guys had their first and last name, so his first name's
Yeah,
Kennington.
his name is literally just Kennington, and then people just call him Ken, I guess, for
Is
short because
Kennington a
Kennington
real
is a
name?
lot. I mean, there's a lot of weird names out there, so probably is.
I mean, it's a city.
But yeah, no, like, I dislike how it was only the tech guy who knew about trolls, because even a person who's not, like, steeped in internet culture should know what a troll is. You know what I mean?
Do you want to hear the origin of the word Kennington? The name
What?
Kennington? So,
What?
habitational name for someone from a place called Kennington in Greater London. So, if you're from the part of London called Kennington, you might be named Kennington. Or if you have an ancestor from there,
Who might
yeah.
be named Kennington?
But I doubt that's a first name, though.
That is such a weird origin or
What?
name.
Yeah, because there's literally a place called Kennington, and the name origin literally just says the origin is people from Kennington. Or have habited
What?
near Kennington, so you're related to habitating within Kennington.
That makes no sense at all.
The definition had to stretch the words, had to stretch the explanation that you're from Kennington into the entire definition. Which is why they turned it into like 17 huge words, just to say,
Yeah.
you're from Kennington.
Can you imagine someone going, like, oh, hi, I'm Kennington. I live in Kennington.
Someone's been there.
Someone's like, I've been there, done that.
Someone right now is there doing that.
Yeah, probably.
And they've
I
heard
don't know
the
how many
joke.
Kenningtons there are in the world, but, you know.
I hope none.
I mean, other than the tech
Yeah,
guy
there
in the
there
movie.
couldn't be any. There couldn't be another Ken after the first one and his mighty blender failure. Okay. We've been going for nearly 2 hours. Should we maybe like wrap this up?
Start rounding off. Yeah.
So if we've taken away anything from this, kids, if you like your computer, don't do like Kennington and have a blender nearby it, or else the ghost of the girl you made commit suicide through bullying and systemically shunning her from the school community will haunt you and your friend's Skype or Discord call and cause you to commit suicide with it. You heard it here first, folks.
Also, don't have a gun or a knife near, because the same thing will happen.
Yeah, and also if you get chased by Ghostface after he breaks into your house, pick up the banana and run, and go towards the sign that says death. That's what we learned from Scary Movie. Nearly worked out for her. She got killed by her own dad.
Yeah, like, she would have gotten away if his dad hadn't been in the middle of a fucking PJ by his wife.
Yeah, I bet you that wasn't even his wife. That was probably his secretary.
No. Maybe, I don't fucking know. I assume that it's his wife, because I don't want to think about a cheating dad in a murder movie.
No. We already had a murder movie that hinted at uncle rape, and my note-taking on that is just uncle rape. No.
True.
No,
True.
wait. Is it uncle rape? Or is it rape? Oh my god. Cool. Uncle rape. Nice. Cool. Uncle rape. Nice. Yeah, that's the way I'm supposed to read it. Finally! I got it right. Anything you'd like to say to the people, B?
Stay spooky out there, guys.
Yeah.
in the middle of spooky season.
Oh right, yeah, it's spooky season. We haven't even talked about that.
It's spooky season. That's why we're talking about horror movies.
Yeah,
today.
we're getting warmed up for next time. Next time it's
Halloween.
Yeah, dude, we're doing this. Isn't it on Halloween next time?
2 days before. We're doing it on the 29th. Halloween is on Sunday.
We'll be celebrating Halloween a little early then.
Yeah, but that's fine, honestly.
I mean, I love Spooktober. We're basically doing like 3 Halloween episodes.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love spooky season so much.
because the
For me,
first,
spooky season starts in the middle of September and runs to like the end of October.
you know, because our first episode was also very scary,
Mm?
just in a very different way. Um, anyway,
Yeah, true.
uh,
Traumatizing.
I've been the guy that hates Tuesdays.
And I am B, or have been, or will be
Will
B.
be
I don't
B,
fucking know, dude.
and this has been Type It Out. The second episode to be exact. Horror equal bad.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Question mark.
Oh yes, horror equal question bad question mark.
Question mark.
Important detail, but I want to thank you all for having been here and listening along. And quick heads up, I know I said at the ending of last episode that I would get the VOD edited and uploaded to the archive YouTube channel, but we've had some issues. I've had some issues with what I'm using to edit it, so that's put on hold for now till I find something that actually works out. It will get
Yeah.
done. The both this episode and the first one will be edited and put on that archive channel once we're done, just so it doesn't get removed from the internet forever once this goes down. And I think that's everything I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, like you downloaded it literally the day after, so it should be safe, right?
Yeah, yeah, I've still got the files, so.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, this has been Type It Out. Should we,
It was fun.
do we put. We need to get some music for this, man.
We do. We
Yeah, so
really
I
need to
can.
get like an outro or something.
Yeah. So when I don't know if I don't have a fucking ending joke and we just keep talking, we can just put that on instead of it just ending like